drop mountains. They say the right hand be slaying dragons.
The untouchable True School Sports Empire proudly presents something the boxing games are missing. Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and talk about a fighter that I've really been very intrigued about since I learned who he was back in August. Because back in August, I was out in the Bay Area with my main man Yugo Osaki, helping him with his training camp, and I started doing my homework on the light flyweight division even more. You know, I cover the light flyweight division, but I started getting deeper and deeper into this light flyweight division to learn about like maybe some of the fighters that aren't world champions yet that could be a really big problem in the future, right? And so one of the fighters that I came across that really piqued my interest was this Mexican fighter, dangerous southpaw, vicious southpaw, guy that really I think is going to be a big problem for a lot of people at light flyweight, and that's none other than Mexico's very own Sergio Mendoza Cordova. Now, Sergio Mendoza Cordova, he has a very good record. He's had a lot of fights in a short amount of time. He's 27-0 with 23 knockouts, and he is currently the IBF mandatory challenger for the current champion from Thailand, Thang Sak Simsiri, right? So, you know, he could be Mexico's one of Mexico's next world champions. Now, it's also worth noting that he's also ranked number 10 in the WBA, number 8 in the WBC, at flyweight in the weight class above. So he's in a really interesting scenario where, yes, he is the mandatory in one weight class, but he is also ranked top 10 in the weight class above. So he has an interesting decision. If he can't make light flyweight in a healthy manner, maybe he might have to forego that world title shot and go to, you know, flyweight and explore a future up there. We shall see how it goes for Sergio Mendoza Cordova. But what I'll say is this: when you just look at his record, we're gonna call it for what it is. He's got a very padded record. He hasn't really fought many people worth talking about. His promoters, his handlers have done a great job keeping him busy, and I'll get to that here in a second. But he's done what he needed to do. Like, he's done what he needed to do with that level of competition. You know, he's got an 85% knockout ratio. He's knocking everything out in sight. So, like I said, he's handled it very, very well. What I can say about Sergio Mendoza Cordova is that he's very active. They've done a great job keeping him busy. He's fought 6 times in a year, twice in his career, once in 2019, once in 2021. So that's 12 fights in 2 different calendar years of his career. That will accelerate you very, very fast. When you start to break down his style, what I like about Sergio Mendoza Cordova is that he's got a very educated southpaw jab. He throws that jab with the intent to score, with the intent to hurt, with the intent to unlock his straight left hand and start throwing, you know, his power punches. You understand? So I like the way he works his educated southpaw jab. That's one of his strengths to me. He's also, you know, a lot of Mexican fighters, they don't get the reputation for being defensive or slick fighters, but I think Sergio Mendoza Cordova is a deceptively slick fighter. I feel like he does a great job of slipping shots and getting underneath shots and not allowing fighters to get full extension and land the full brunt of their punches. So I like that about him. And then when he does that, when he gets past whatever you're trying to throw at him, he's a very compact puncher, like most Mexican fighters are known for being. He gets good leverage on his shots. He turns the punches over with the intent to hurt you, and that's why he's got so many knockouts and so many fights so far in his career. So there's that. Now, in his last fight, he won the IBO champion. In Sergio's last fight, Sergio Mendoza Cordova, he wound up actually beating this African fighter. I can't pronounce his name, but this African fighter, and he actually wound up winning the IBO light flyweight championship. So he's already won some hardware in his career, although it's not recognized yet as an official world title. But you know, he did get the IBO title. And that African guy actually had some good wins. He had beaten guys like Jesse Espinas and Junior Sarate, who are also contenders in this weight class. So look, when you talk about the light flyweight division, I know right now there's a lot of talk about Rene Santiago because he went to Japan and beat up some guys. I know, like, when you talk about maybe some of the younger fighters, especially the Japanese ones, Dai Akira or Yugo Osaki might be the kind of names you hear about from people. But really and truthfully, guys, this is a guy that needs more attention. This is a guy that needs more shine. This is a guy that needs to be paid attention to a lot more because he's already the mandatory challenger. He's already in position to fight for the world title. If he stays at 108 pounds, if he can make the weight class, I think he'll beat Simsiri. I think he's probably gonna knock him out and become world champion. And so he will be a world champion. And then you got guys like Eric Badillo who will probably fight for the world title. Listen, I know right now we got Rene Santiago doing his thing as a world champion. I know people are looking at the Japanese fighters to go ahead and do their thing, like Yugo Osaki and Eric Badillo or Yugo Osaki and Dai Akira, right? But this division might just be overran by Mexicans soon. You might get Eric Badillo versus Sergio Mendoza Cordova become one of the big fights in this weight class. So look, man, I like him a lot. I think he hasn't really fought a murderer's row of competition, so that is a bit of my concern for him. But stylistically speaking, I think he's getting a very good matchup in Thang Saksim Siri. Thang Saksim Siri is not a sophisticated fighter. He's a guy that stands right in front of you and looks to exchange. And I think that those are the kind of fights that Sergio Mendoza Cordova wants and will thrive in. And so I'm looking for him to win that fight, become world champion, and make a play here. And look, if he don't fight there, I think there's good fights from in the 112-pound division. But I'll say if he gets the fight that he's supposed to get, he'll be world champion this year. And look, man, I think him versus Yugo Osaki would be one of the best fights in the whole division. Probably one of the best Mexico versus Japan fights that happened in years. Because I think those are two of the most vicious, most skillful fighters in this weight class, to be honest with you. So that being said, Sergio Mendoza Cordova is going to be a big factor in this division. He's a big problem. He's one of the most active Mexican fighters in the world. He's one of the most active top-level fighters in the world, point-blank period. He's only been a professional since, I believe, 2019 or 2018, and he's already got 27 fights. I mean, what more do you want? The guy's doing what he has to do. They always say that Mexicans work harder than other people, and he's a testament to that. He's working hard. He's working hard. He's fighting a lot. He's getting a lot of knockouts. He's delivering a lot of value, and he will be someone that people must pay attention to, and people will have to learn their name if they don't know it already. Sergio Mendoza Cordova.
Thank you for watching True School Sports.
Thank you for watching another video on the untouchable True School Sports empire, the home of boxing. We're on the road to 100,000 subscribers, guys, so help us keep being great. Help us keep pushing out that real boxing content for the fine folks all around the world. And make sure you jab, you hook, you Mike Tyson, you Mayweather that subscribe button. Pops, show them how do they gotta hit the subscribe button. Pop, pop.